Hello, happy Monday. Coach Tina here, and I am so excited for us to have our Monday morning motivation time together. Today, we will be talking on a rather fun idea that I put together, which is, oops, and I've got it scrolling. I don't want it to scroll. So let's take that back and give me just a minute. And there we go. What I'm talking about today is the urge to pee, how to control your workflow. Now, why would I pick a topic like this, right? Is it because women of our age might possibly be having some bladder control issues or incontinence? Did you even know that pelvic floor therapy was a thing? The last time I went to the doctor, I was pretty surprised by some materials she gave me. And then later, I was talking to a friend who was having similar issues going on. And I thought, this is something that we don't tend to talk about. And since most recently I had the weekend workshop about working through hard things, I figured that was, right on line with the topic. But it's not really what I'm talking about today. Today, I'm actually talking about another thing that's urgent, but it's not about having a baby. The P is not about pushing that baby out, although sometimes we all know how that feels. There's that moment when you're in labor and you're like, the baby is coming now. I kind of feel like that. I feel like my baby is on its way and I'm tired and I want this done with. So I'm going to check that everything is where it needs to be on Facebook while I'm waiting for people that might be coming on board to watch. So let me get this queued up. And here it is. And I am pinning it to the top. That way, those of you that are interested in coming can jump on. And here's the deal. Each Monday, I come on and do a live on a topic that's kind of in line with what's been going on in our group. Well, the word of this month was launch. And some of you will remember, but not all of you will know, that on the day after Labor Day, I launched my leadership, my academy. It's not leadership, it's for women who are ready to change. And it's a life academy where you want to work in this intimate part of our community to really take action on what we need to do, especially so that we don't waste the next 3 months before the end of the year. Because it's so in our nature to just be like, you know what? Holidays are coming. Things are going to get even crazier than they have been. And then boom, it'll be the new year. And we'll be starting all over again. And I want to keep people from that constant set the goals, don't achieve them, ruin your self-esteem, and just go plummeting down, right? I want there to be more for us than that. So today, we're talking about my launch, but we're talking about it because it didn't work out the way that I planned. So go ahead and say hello if you're watching live. And if you're catching this on the replay, which I completely understand in today's world and in our global community, that sometimes the replay is the only place you're going to be able to catch. I get that. But if you let me know that you're watching, then I can have a conversation with you about it at a later date, which is perfect for me. So just say hello, maybe where you're from, maybe what you're working on this week, and let us know that you're part of you're on board with what in the heck is Tina talking about, because maybe you have the urge to pee as well. Now, where did that even come from? Well, as I was saying, I have the launch going on in our community this month, but it didn't go as planned. I wanted it to be much better presented, and it didn't work out that way. I was on my vacation. I came back. I was in a rush to get everything out. I had while I was gone. Can you hear all the excuses I'm saying here? While we were on vacation, I didn't have internet, so I didn't work on it like I wanted to, which I didn't really want to because I was on vacation. So I came back and I expected it to work. And then it didn't. I mean, we had some people that are interested. That part's going great. I've got like a lot of it in the works, but not to the level that I wanted, not where my expectations were. So I'm working with a mentor, a coach who's guiding me through certain things. And she said, Tina, I want to evaluate the challenge you did in September so that when you have it in October, we'll be able to improve upon it to make it even better for everybody. And she said, we'll have a launch. And I went, no. September was my launch month. October is not my launch month. And then I realized there's the soft launch and there's a hard launch. And I was basically at that point, like the woman in labor that was like, I'm done having this baby. The baby is coming out now. But sometimes you don't get to dictate when the baby is ready. And so even though it was the month of September, which I think it's kind of funny because I actually had my first child's due date was the 1st of October. And my stepmom's birthday was the 10th of October. And it was my first baby. But when I was talking about my due date, my stepmom said, oh, wouldn't it be great if you could wait until my birthday to have Amanda? And I went, what are you talking about? My due date is the 1st. I'm having this baby on the 1st or before. And then came the summer and I was like, certain, I'm having this baby early. This is not, I can't do this till October, blah, blah, blah. Well, Amanda was born on the 12th of October. So I was not happy with that whole scenario. It was not pleasing to me. And I wanted a different outcome, right? Kind of like where we are right now. So I have to say that this whole series is not really about having a baby, although metaphorically, the businesses, our ideas, are babies. I've had many baby businesses in my life. This is the one that's in its infant stage, and I am working to push that baby out. But at this point, I'm going to follow my mentor, and we're going to do the things that we need to do to make the next challenge be absolutely amazing. And in fact, I'm pushing back the date that I had on my heart to the 11th of October, very close to my daughter's birthday, interestingly enough. But let's keep going and talk about the word that, the reason why I picked urge to pee as our content today. It's because when I got the directive to really do my challenge like it's meant to be. We're supposed to have about 10 days, maybe 2 weeks to prepare for the challenge, to get everything in order so that you don't have issues like I had where my payment thing wasn't set up correctly, or some of my materials weren't ready yet. And I pushed forward anyway. I did it, right? But it wasn't time. So when I sat down and I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about for 10 days? Well, what I wrote down was a bunch of P words. P words, words that started with P. I got passion and purpose and powerful and potential. I love all of those words. But I started to recognize the challenge, by the way, is make progress and produce desired results. Both of them start with P, right? Progress, produce. And I went, oh, I'm like totally on this P thing right now. So then I went, well, what ties them all together? Well, the only thing that tied them together was starting with the letter P. And that's the way my brain works, you guys. I'm sorry. But when I saw all that P and I was talking to my friend about incontinence, and I went, okay, we're talking about P for the rest of September. And then I just couldn't hold back on the how to control your flow, i.e. workflow. Okay. And some of you may know what flow is. Flow was defined as a psychological term for when you are so in the thing that you're doing that you can't, um, you can't stop. Like when you're in the flow, time doesn't matter. You're just doing your thing. It doesn't even feel like work. And so those of us that are working hard at things want to be in the flow because that's what's enjoyable. That's what, when you know you're doing the thing you're meant to do, you're so skilled at it. You're so in love with the thing that it doesn't take effort. And so we're going to be talking about workflow today and about how to control your workflow. And we're going to start with today's P word, which is push. Now, I will be coming on every day and doing a short video related to the word of the day. Won't be as long as my Monday days, but let's jump in really quick. I'm already a little bit over where I wanted to be today. And we'll talk about the first of the three things. But before we do, I got a question for you. What are you pushing yourself to do right now? Like, not this moment, but in this time period of your life, what things are really pressing on you and requiring your time and your attention and your dedication? Or maybe which things are that you're not able to have happen right now? So I see you coming in. So thank you for joining. If you would like to put #live in your name, then I will know who has found the feed. So happy you're here. And the question of the day, the theme of the day is the urge to pee. And I'll catch you up really quick. Pee is because when I went and looked at all the content that I'm planning to put together before our next event, all the words started with the letter P. And so the first word that we're going with today is push. The urge to push might give you guys connotations. If you go back to the beginning, you're going to get an idea of what I'm talking about. But at this point, I'm asking you, what are you pushing yourself to do right now? And then I'm moving my notes here. Good. I'm glad that you found me. And I'm really sorry that Facebook might have given you guys some problems this morning. I kind of suspected it with nobody here. So apologies for sure. And we're about to start with the three things that will help you with your workflow this week. And so item number one is to get into a rhythm. And of course, what does this even mean? Well, it means that when we want to be in flow, when we want to be able to stay to our task and to work on the things that matter to us, we've got to get into a rhythm. And rhythms remind me of habits, right? When we have a habit, we are more likely to follow through with it. When it's a routine, our brain just kind of sets it up. And that's why I'm reading the feed here. I'm pushing myself to get past uncomfortable action. Yes. When we set up new habits, it's uncomfortable. When we do things as simple as brushing your teeth with the opposite hand, you will resist that because if you've always brushed with this hand, it's going to feel weird to brush with this hand. But if you push yourself to do things that aren't always the same, if you people do the twiddle your thumb thing and which one rests on top of the other. If you just do little tiny things that will set you into a new pattern, it will rewire your brain to anticipate everything's not always the same, that there's a need to switch yourself around and do things differently and not always pattern the exact same way. So when we want to be in a rhythm, we also can recognize that sometimes it's just not the right time for us. Like if you struggle to be a night person and yet that's the only time you have is to work at night and you're falling asleep the whole time and it doesn't work, then you have to look at your rhythms and figure out, no, I'm a morning person. Or you have to change it up. Like I could stay up all night if I needed to. I could stay up till midnight to get something done or later, but I struggled to get up in the morning. Well, when I had my children, they were always around me and I never got my alone time. And they would stay up as late as I did. So I would push myself to go to bed early, get them to sleep, and wake up before they ever did because they could sleep in all day. And so I gave myself a switch But that gave me that rhythm of, I actually found I was more energized in the mornings. I was more focused in the mornings. There was less stuff for me to do. And the day had so much promise versus how it feels at the end of the night when you're like, even though you're working hard, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get up in 5 hours. And it's heavy, it drags on you. So find your rhythm, get the timing that works for you and use it to your advantage. That will help you to get into the flow and allow you to be enthused about your own work. All right. And then we're going to switch to our second one, which is to push yourself. No one else cares about what you are doing like you do, especially those of us that have a dream in our heart. No one else has that dream. No one else has been given the set of instructions that we've been given. So when we get this information, we get that desire, we have a vision for what we're supposed to be doing. When we tell other people and they naysay it, or they're not as enthusiastic as we are, or they think we're kind of a little cuckoo, that is just the way it is. You've got to recognize that the thing you're doing is for you and your part in it, and nobody else has to understand it. You are satisfying your own physical desire to do what you're meant to do. And so when you push yourself, you're setting yourself up into the scenario that's going to be favorable and profitable and purposeful for you. So a lot of people struggle with this, the motivation. They're looking for outside sources to make them be motivated. But you've got to recognize that you are your own energy source. You are your powerhouse. You are where it all comes from. And like I mentioned, with the routine and the habits, set yourself up in the morning to be doing the thing that you're meant to do. That's why in the ULA system, we say that you're going to do 3 things each day, 3 small steps that get you to your big goal. And you can do other things, but having that focus, that concentrated effort towards the thing that you really care about, even if they're really small, tiny goals, will help you to build the muscle of moving forward in the way that you want to move forward. So I really think that that mindset is super important to set up. All right. So pushing yourself, even when it's not comfortable, even when it feels like, ooh, I don't want to do this, do it. And give yourself little games. Like sometimes you can push yourself where if there's a task that you're not sure about, set the timer for 5 minutes and just say, I'm going to work on this for 5 minutes and see if in that 5 minutes of dedicated working on the problem, you either actually get it done a lot quicker than you thought, or you recognize this isn't that hard, I'll stick with it. But if you just break it down into manageable, doable, I'm going to be able to handle this moments, you'll start to notice a change in how you react to the thing that you're wanting to do. And then finally, item number 3, how to get your workflow going is to use your creative juices. You're unique for sure. You have a certain way that you like to do your work. So use that as your fuel for doing the things you don't like to do. Be artistic about it. Sometimes to-do lists are boring. And if you're a super creative person, maybe you want to draw out your to-do list. Draw a picture, draw, flowers and birds or whatever it is that lights you up, and allow that creativity to become a part of the thing that's not so much fun, and see how that benefits you. But it's actually more than that, right? Like, when do we let our creative juices out and when do we hold them back? Well, I have a question for you. This is a really great question that I heard KK from the Tony Robbins world. Carissa Kuchar is her full name, but they call her KK. She was talking about oranges. So the question was, when you squeeze an orange, what comes out? Orange juice, right? Like you wouldn't expect apple juice to come out or milk. When you squeeze an orange, oranges come out, orange juice. So if someone were to squeeze you, what would come out? Is it you? Because it should be. It should be you juice that comes out, the thing that you're made of. And we are made of who we are. And so when we're trying to be something else, why would someone expect to squeeze an orange and have lemons come out? Lemon juice. That wouldn't make sense, right? When we're in tight spaces, when we're pushed to go beyond our limits, when we're pushing ourselves, when we're trying to get that thing done that we've been working on so hard, let your authentic self be the leader of you, because that's really where your strength is. It isn't hard to be you. It's hard to be all the things you think you're supposed to be. But we are designed and made in a particular way, beautifully designed. And as I always tell everybody, you are designed for greatness. And it's with that greatness, that set of skills and talents and unique things that only you have, that will allow you to follow your purpose. If you're trying to be what everybody else thinks you should be, the way everybody else thinks you should be, or even just what the news or the social media tells you you should be, you're going to feel conflicted and upset and unhappy with who you are. But when you have a push to do the thing that you want to do, and you push yourself and you find the right rhythm and you be you, you are going to have incredible success. Now, all this week, I'll be talking about P words to motivate you, push you, get you on track for the goals that you are setting for yourself. My hope is you have them written down. It's one of the first things that I'll tell you is write your goals down. So write your goal for today down. See if it's something you can check off before the end of the day. Write your goals for this week down. It is the last week of September. We have at the end of this week, we will have less than 90 days left in the year. 3 months with a lot of holidays and stuff going on that could potentially get in the way of you fulfilling the dreams that you started this year with. And my goal as a life coach, as your life coach, is to help you get to that place where you recognize that there are goals on that list that you still have time to accomplish. And you will feel good about it at the end. You will be able to not just do all the things that you probably already do, but do the things that matter to your heart. Do the things that matter to the future. Do the things that are going to help you live the life that you are meant to have. I really, really want that for you. So if this is resonating with you, go ahead and comment push. And I'll be sharing as I go through these different videos this week. They might not always be in the morning. They'll be throughout the day, but I'll put them up. And then if you're commenting on the videos, I'll make sure that I'm tagging you in them so that you have access to all the material. This is leading up to the challenge that I'm doing again. It's called Make Progress and Produce Desired Results in Your Life. Okay. And we will be working together. It's a 3-day challenge. There's more that I'll be telling you as I gear up. But like I was explaining when this started, I'm having that was my soft launch in September, whether I wanted that or not. It's kind of like prematurely thinking I was in labor. Going back to the drawing board, we're going to have the hard launch in October for the Life Academy. Those of you that are already excited about it and know the value and the benefits and you're ready to go, hopefully we're talking on the side about all the things that we can be doing together. And we're going to make this a really fun, exciting event. This is my push because this is what I was put on this earth to do. The direction I was given was to start this academy. And I have been kind of hiding, trying to do all the other things. And even if it's not perfect, another P word, I am moving forward with this and hoping to get as many people across the bridge to the other side as I can. So appreciate you guys being on board, and I'm looking forward to working with you individually. Thanks for the 2 pushes, and we'll be talking real soon. Take care.